road, and then you say, oh, this is really interesting. He traced all the way back. You can't really go back any farther. And so he goes back, and it becomes then something that, whereas St. Matthew is focused on his Jewish nature, but the Luke focuses on the human part of Christ. And of all the people from Abraham on who could be considered part of his genealogy. Now, we don't know how accurate these things are. Sometimes professional genealogists would, they say, have to keep like that, spice this up a little bit and put things in, but they're pretty reasonable. They're pretty safe, and we can take them with at least a pretty good sense that this really was the way. It's just a difference in the way it's perceived, and a difference in what message the apostles wanted to set forth, whether the Galileans were Greek, or for the Gentiles, or whether they were Jewish, because of that. And so with Luke, he actually ends all of this. He ends his genealogy with this phrase that points to the Lord's divine origin. He ends with Jesus, the son of Adam, and the son of God. So for Luke, he ties it all up. At the end, he says, yes, from the very beginning, the first man, Jesus is derived from him, but he also is derived from his Father, who is his son. And so it's really interesting to look at this, and it's more than interesting. I mean, you could say, well, this is a section I often don't read because it doesn't really mean anything to me, but it does. Because whether you are a Gentile or whether you are Jewish, these genealogies tell you that Jesus is a part of you. That Jesus came for all of these people, and that this is something that was really important for people to understand and to know. What we really find out if we look at both of these genealogies is this. We get our understanding of the incarnation from looking at these genealogies. They complement one another. The Son of God and the Son of David are human and divine, and in this one person, in the person of Jesus, we find the only person. We get our as in divine and human part of him. And it's because of that we can kind of understand him. If he was just kind of a demigod and he didn't have any humanity, that'd be interesting, but people would not really follow him. We would not be in this building right now. I don't know what we'd be doing. But it'd be something different because we have to have this identification. So when we look at this and we begin to understand what is going on, we understand a couple of things. One, first of all, just like anybody else, Jesus had his share of scoundrels back in his genealogy. There's a prostitute back in there, there's people that really, they weren't all that good. And truth be told, all of us, we look at our genealogy, there's somebody there that is just not. We go, we don't talk about him. We don't want to talk about this guy right here. And because of that, we're kind of ashamed. But it's part of who it is. The other day, I actually, I can do this because there aren't many people named Blomley. It has to be pronounced that way, and there have to be two E's. There are two E's, I'm related to them. And I ran across something about a politician in Tasmania, of all places, named Brendan Blomley, who, honest to Pete, is probably the most hated politician in the world. And they did this man on the street thing, talking to people on the street. What do you think about Brendan Blomley? And they had to knock out a lot of what people were saying because they had really, and this is the kind of thing, he may be a little extreme, but we all, in our past, maybe living now, there's people that we go, I don't know about that guy. I don't know. But there he is. And the same thing happened with Jesus. Some of his people certainly were righteous. Some were scandalous. That's all that they were. There were black sheep, there were white sheep, there were all of these things. What this tells us about Jesus is very important. Because whereas I look at Brendan and I go, oh, holy cow, man. And some of my other ancestors, we all have these people. Some of my relatives think I'm one of these people. But when we have this, and we understand this, the reason that we sometimes comes out. We fight against it, but we do it every once in a while. And then we also have all of these things. And the idea, and what really counts, is that whether we are scoundrels or whether we are good people, we are made in the image of God. And this ultimately is what these genealogies prove, and what it shows. And that is the divinity of Christ as shown through his genealogy of people. Because by doing what he did and coming when he came, and in the fashion that he came, and it becomes something that is enormous. You know, if you ever come to Vespers, there's a time during, there's a propimenon that I think we sing every week with this. And it says something, which depends on what Vespers you're going to, but it's just a difference in translation. And here's what it says: the Lord has put on his apparel and has girded himself with strength. That's not exactly how we sing it, but if you come, you'll recognize